Know this, the invention of Hogmanay is the very best time of year ever invented, ever since times of the year were first invented as inventions. Singing, dancing, drinking, kissing the minister's wife, kissing the minister's dog, trying to get their names in the right order, of course, and standing in front of all your relations, making a complete lesser spotted blue tit of yourself. A great, great excuse to be stupid, if you're back home on the croft. But down here in the big city, Hogmanay, Hogma rubbish, you can forget it. There's nothing doing, nothing. Well, apart from what a wee fol-de-rol of a fellow says to me the other day. He says, "I know, but there's tons and tons of stuff going on. Why don't you get yourselves down to a street party? All colours and flags and that, music, dancing, pure magic fireworks and that." Ach, and I'm an open-minded sort of person, and I says to the wee fol-de-rol, "Who's going to this party?" And he says, "Hunners and hunners of drunk strangers, all types of people." I says, "No, thank you very much. Open-minded maybe, but I don't want caught between a Morris dancer and his fandango." But herself and myself need to do something. Last Hogmanay was just awful. I can't understand why. I can't put my finger on it. The pair of us bored stiff, staring at the television. So bored we came close to switching it on. And finally, thank God, the clock struck 12. And we had mad sex. Oh, no, we didn't. We're from the Hebrides, and that was never a tradition. Not even on your honeymoon. Just imagine going at New Year to a house and getting a knife full of morag, enjoying Roddy's first foot. No, we just passed the time. And as it was passing, it felt an awful lot longer in passing than any time that's ever passed any time in the past. You know what I mean? Why was that, I wondered? What was missing? We were on our own, of course. Not even a stray Jehovah's Witness came calling to be sneered at and shown the door. Now, that was never the case back on the croft. Even if you lived alone, the devil would come round to wish you all the worst. Neighbour would visit neighbour, and if that neighbour's neighbour was visiting neighbour, and neighbour's neighbour's neighbour got wind of it, then the whole neighbourhood would be round being neighbourly, and some being a wee bit more neighbourly than was decent. But that's neighbours for you. At least it was in our neighbourhood. But we don't know any neighbours down here, apart from the fact they're all called Jim. First name, all right. But they're hopeless at Hogmanay. And it's not just me saying it, the statistics prove it. 97% of people drunk at Hogmanay. Good God Almighty. 3 out of 100 are sober. There's no excuse for that. That's do-gooders for you, health fanatics. Only drink in moderation, they say, my Auntie Fanny's granny. God didn't make drink in moderation. He made endless gallons and gallons of the stuff. Bottles, cans, barrels and buckets, because God wanted people to get into a state once a year. And he says to himself, I'll need a name for this state. And he called the state Scotland. I mean, how are you supposed to get all daft without your underpants and your trousers on one glass of sherry? I mean, back home, they used to jail people that were fit enough to eat solid food by February. My Uncle Duncan, he got drunk so much once on Hogmanay he left home, walked round the house, and then went back inside to visit himself. Well, he must have enjoyed it, because he stayed 2 days talking about the old times and the complexities of schizophrenia. My granny, she used to take her drink from the potty. More economical, she said, cut out the middleman. Men and women fell in love, sometimes with each other. Even the ducks took a drink. And when you say drink, It wasn't this footery schmootery wine or Malibu or Malipoo or Alky Pops, Cocoa Pops or Spritzers and Schmitzers or Snotters and Sneezers and Breezers and liqueurs. No, thank you, look your own. It was whiskey we drank. I says this to the wee falderall with the street party, and he says, "Oh my God, a man's drink." And he was right. Whiskey is the key. Whiskey is what was missing. Ishke vehe, water of life. Not city life, but croft life. A good stiff dose of whiskey on Hogmanay and herself and myself will be back on that croft, back exactly where we belong.